Hey there, Pisces. How's it going? Welcome to a February financial tarot reading where I'm going to use the Gustave Doré tarot deck to see what is going on financially in this particular month of February for you. I'm going to break it apart into as many different areas as I can, where we talk about things like housing, employment, finances, negotiations. Maybe you're waiting on a bill to come in the mail, things like that. Let me also increase my camera angle a little bit here so I can fit the rest of the cards in. Any area of finances that I can think of, we will kind of discuss those facets and see if what you're hoping for to unfold, maybe a raise, maybe an investment opportunity, see if it comes in this particular month. Just bearing in mind, I always have to mention for disclosure purposes as per Ontario's regulations, that these do not replace financial or legal advice of any kind or professional advice of any kind. They are for entertainment purposes only. Any of my readings are for entertainment purposes only, but do we like to get into financial readings? Absolutely. They are one of my favorites. So dig into it we shall. So, Pisces, for this particular month of February, you have a very interesting dynamic. There's healing going on in this dynamic here. I say that because we actually, look at, from the 2 to the 3 to the 4, the number progression is going really well in this reading. And in fact, the 3 and 4 are directly next to each other in the Suit of Swords. So you are progressing to a position of healing. The 3 of Swords is the infamous heartbreak card with a depiction of 3 swords stabbing into a heart. Even if you haven't gotten a tarot reading done, this is one of the most recognizable cards of tarot. And after it comes the healing card, a card in this Gustave Doré deck that looks a little bit more like resting place of the dead. But it does traditionally mean, it can be associated with things like that seat of rest, but it is traditionally a time for healing, of contemplation, after some kind of hardship has already occurred. The 3 of Swords is when hardship occurs. The 4 of Swords is when the hardship has already occurred, and now you're taking some downtime to deal with the after effects. Oh, the 6 of Swords is here. I like that. That's an interesting dynamic. The 2 of Cups is also here. This is a card of, well, usually it shows up in relationship readings to do with people coming together, the right people to get your finances done. This could be spouses. This could be partners. But when it's not an actual person, it means that something is in a blessed way, because this is a card of sanctimonious holy union. In a blessing kind of way, something is being brought to you, which can be things like you and your goal, right? Reminds me a little bit of the Lover's energy, when 2 people join together to balance each other out. Well, there's a lot of things in life that can come together with you that's not just about love. 2 sides of a bridge can come together, you know? And so can you and your goals. The nature actually of coming together with something is actually being duplicated in this reading a little bit, because the 6 of Swords is quite literally a depiction of a boat going on a journey to bring yourself with something else. So again, we've got more of that energy of the healing phase that you're going through in the month of February, where you're going to, Queen of Pentacles, strategically come together with some kind of a goal. And it's not that you're fully incorporated together in this month of February, but the path is something that you're going on, because the 6 of Swords has to do with things like travel or going to some kind of a situation. Particularly if any of you are interested in long distance travel, the 6 of Swords is specific for that. And for those of you who are interested in, like, maybe you're actually trying to move locations, move a house, move locations with a job even, a lot of those can come into play with that card, as well as travel overseas, because it is particularly a picture of a boat. Over 100 years ago, Arthur Edward Waite had mentioned that in the upright position, the 6 of Swords is the card of waterway transportation. Again, it is a picture of a boat for that reason. Something else I want to mention about this kind of card of travel, I know we're talking about a financial reading, and a lot of you might be thinking about travel that you're going towards to get to a job or to get to a house, but there's a little bit of vacation energy coming out of this reading for those of you who are interested in having some downtime for yourself. so that you can be better for your finances, that's showing up in here. Because the Four of Swords, this one here, which I mentioned was about, taking some downtime or a healing phase, the historical interpretation over 100 years ago for that card is retreat, vacations, literally having a time of the hermit's repose. It's like going on vacation to give yourself a breath of relief. Some of you might not be going on a literal vacation, but instead you're giving yourself that downtime. But for others of you, you are quite literally going to a location to give yourself a breath of relief. Above all in this reading, though, I want to say that the Queen of Pentacles in the upright position is a really good card to have, because she means, in the upright, she means opulence, magnificence. These are the key words that were used in her interpretations in history. Luxury, and contemplation of how to strategically and intellectually, she's got a very intellectual aspect to her in terms of strategy. So she is how to intellectually, with strategy, get your opulence, get your magnificence, and get luxury. And because she's in the upright position, boy, she does it well. This tells me that as a part of you joining together, like the whole theme of this reading here in this month of February looks like joining together with the right people, having that healing time, because it's a part of the strategy that would make you more beneficial energy of outcome and finances later on, and then strategizing how to get luxury all at the same time. It's almost like a 3-piece thing that's happening here. Again, coming together, giving yourself time, and when you've gotten a better state, like even nervous system wise, suddenly you have that ability to bring in and draw in the magnificence, the opulence, the luxury. It's a great card to get. She is also the card of stability and security. Most specifically, security. So when we're asking in a financial reading here, are you going to have security come to you in the future? That card is a yes. The Queen of Pentacles, she's the one who knows how to get it. She contemplates it. She's like thought, action, execution. That's what she's all about, right? She looks at it, she plans it out, she goes forward, and she gets what she wants. Again, in this card here, she goes forward and she gets what she wants. She crosses whatever waters she needs to cross over in order to get her security and her stability. She keeps going. So, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Knight of Pentacles card. Is that the one that I'm thinking of? Is it the... No. Yes, no, yes, no. I'm trying to think. The Knight of Pentacles or the... On which deck is it that I'm thinking of here? Hold on one second. Oh, pardon me. I'm not thinking of the Knight of Pentacles. It reminds me of the Ace of Wands, and I'm going to show you why in the historical tarot. The card of the boat. Let me see if I have a pen here to kind of point at it. If I can focus this. It's a little holographic. Do you see the river? The Journey in Tarot, and I believe it shows up on the Knight of Cups card. So Knight of Cups to the Knight of Pentacles. The job of the person who bends the will of the manifested universe with their wand of their desires, bends it to their will to get what they want. Once they've been given the things they need to by the universe, their job is to cross over the river to get to the other side, to their kingdom, to their security, to their structural stability. And that's why the Six of Swords, it insinuates not just waterway travel, but it's the journey to cross over to another side. It's a process of getting through some difficulty to come out in a structured energy, in a stabilized and security-based energy, because you took the time to cross the river. It's kind of got that river Styx energy to it, like that Greek mythology. Rivers historically were not usually the easiest to cross. They were usually there because of some situation, some story was going to unfold You know, thinking of like the Odyssey or thinking of Jonah and the whale. Water was difficult, you know. It is symbolically connected to the emotions, but a lot of the times in these stories, something was there to swallow you up, right? And here you are in the reading of this dynamic coming together with exactly what is needed while balancing yourself out to get what you need financially in a security and stable way. It's perfect. Despite the hardship that you had in the past that you needed to heal from. So keep going, you. This is a recipe for financial success. Like, that's what that's about. This kind of strategic discernment here, this kind of security and contemplation that comes from the Queen of Pentacles is the kind of dynamic that leads you to those interviews or leads you to those investments or leads you to that planning in your job, your finances, your education. You know, these are all very good cards to get from a responsible point of view and an action, willpower, get shit done point of view. So with that being said, I'm going to leave you off with that. In the month of February, it looks like a contemplation-based energy, but an action, get it done energy. And get it done, I think you shall. Just a reminder, actually, also the Two of Cups, that's a card of blessings, remember. So it's not just strategic because you did it. The hand of God's here a little bit to bring you through with a holy blessing, bring you together with exactly what it is that you need to have coming together with. Now I'll leave you off with that. Thank you very much for joining me on here. I'm going to head over to TikTok now, and I'm going to do an extra Pisces reading for you in love and further in finances, where I break apart every single week of the month of February, now that we're in the first 48 hours of it. Thank you very much, and talk to you later. Ciao for now.